Stranger Things Season 5 released all 8 episode titles back on Stranger Things Day of last year, and since then, a burning question has been surrounding one title in particular. That title being Season 5 Episode 2, The Vanishing of Blank? We have no official confirmation as to who is vanishing in Season 5, but when the rumored episode titles dropped back in April of last year, they stated that this episode was called The Vanishing of Blank Wheeler. So immediately you're thinking it could be Mike, Nancy, Karen, or Ted. Well, with the first footage from Season 5, along with behind-the-scenes teaser shots and paparazzi photos, all signs are pointing to this episode being called The Vanishing of Holly Wheeler. So with that being said, I wanted to share this excerpt from a fun Stranger Things deep dive series I'm doing over on my Patreon right now called Stranger Things Rewind, where myself and my fiance Cam dive into every episode of the show and tackle the episodes through the lens of how they could connect to Season 5. Think of it as a rewatch podcast where we rewatch the episodes off camera, then get together to talk theories and predictions along with breaking down major moments in every single episode. The first 3 episodes of Stranger Things Rewind are out right now, and this clip comes from the Holly Jolly episode, the most recent one we did. If you like this conversation and want to see the full episode breakdown along with gaining access to every Stranger Things Rewind episode as they drop, Patreon is the place to be. Your support over there truly does mean the world and makes a huge impact on my content creation journey, helping me to continue making these videos. And apologies for this being all voiceover, I'm under the weather today, so I did not want to hop on camera. But without further ado, here's a snippet of our Holly Jolly breakdown. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, Joyce with the lights. It's iconic, scores goated, but we got to talk about specifically Karen and Holly at the Byers house. That is the meat of this episode. It's directly going to correlate to Season 5. It's not even up for debate. I mean...
Oh, 100%. I have a whole page of notes about it.
Please.
So obviously we're talking about when Karen brings a casserole over to Joyce, and she brings Holly because Holly's like 4 years old or whatever, 5 maybe. So like she can't be alone. Holly sees the Christmas lights lighting up towards Will's room. She's summoned by them. She follows them.
Mm-hmm.
She's also very naturally drawn to the wall where earlier this episode Joyce saw a Demogorgon trying to break through in Will's room. It's very interesting to me that Holly is just drawn to this wall without seeing anything trying to come through at first. Like she just walks up to a plain wall. She's very drawn to it.
Yeah.
Or no, it was episode 2 where the Demogorgon was trying to break through the wall. Guys,
I have 2 questions for you, but I'll let you
go
finish.
ahead. You go. Go ahead.
Well, it's about why you think this is happening, and I know you're about to get there. So
okay. So guys, I had to do homework for this episode.
Okay.
I had these notes all written out. Long story short, we're about to talk about the movie Poltergeist from the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Very heavily influenced in Stranger Things. And I told Chris I was going to talk about it, and he was like, you probably need to watch the movie before you talk about it.
So we watched it
Spoiler
together.
alert, I didn't need to watch the movie before I talked about it. It wasn't that great of a movie, to be honest with you.
For us, that's the hot take. You need to understand that. Like,
Oh.
we watched it together, first time for both of us. We didn't love it that
3.5.
much. You say 3.5?
Out of 5.
I went 2.5.
Oh, did I? Maybe I went 2.5.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought it was like a 5 out of 10. Like, I respect it. I understand that it's like a horror classic, but my God, it doesn't really hold up well to me. Now, I understand that this show pulls a lot from it, and Poltergeist directly influenced it, but it just wasn't really my jam.
Yeah. So, just wanted to let you guys know that I did have to sit through a movie that I did not enjoy to be able to talk about this. But back to Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Obviously, Stranger Things loves its 80s references. And the shot of Holly at the wall in the Byers house is like a direct homage to the little girl in the Poltergeist when she like senses, like she goes up to the TV and she's like, you know? And in fact, the entire Wheeler family, it mirrors the Freeling family from the Poltergeist. Ted mirrors Steven, which I found funny because I think in the beginning of the Poltergeist, like Steven, the dad of the family, like is sitting in his recliner chair, kind of doing nothing. So that definitely mirrors Ted. But by the end of the movie, Steven steps up and he's helping a lot.
Yeah.
Ted
will not be doing that.
That will never be Ted Wheeler. Never in a million years.
No.
Karen mirrors Diane, the mom. Nancy mirrors Dana, the oldest daughter. Mike mirrors Robbie, and Holly mirrors Carol Ann. Carol Ann is the littlest girl in the family, and she is taken by the ghosts in the movie, like into the TV. And I wrote down that this definitely, ironically, kind of mirrors how Holly's going to get taken in season 5, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the shot of Holly in the behind-the-scenes teaser with lights flickering, and more recently, we got actual footage of Holly and Karen looking at something that will 95, we'll call it % likely to be Vecna, who they're looking at, right?
Possibly, yeah.
The question I have about this whole scene Okay. Do you think, and we don't know the answer, we will probably, we're gonna get answers in season 5. Do you think in the moment where Holly is seeing these lights and walking into that room in the back of the Byers house, do you think that that's Will trying to communicate with someone and she sees it? Or do you think it's potentially Vecna luring Holly over there? Because we know Vecna's probably in all likelihood going to be taking Holly, hence the vanishing of Holly Wheeler in season 5.
I think it's the Demogorgon, because the Demogorgon comes through the wall a few moments later.
Which it's worth noting, I know there's this whole discussion, I've seen people bring up that old theory of, oh, it was Vecna in season 1 in the road that came and took Will. Vecna, it's a Demogorgon. Vecna controls the Demogorgon.
Yes. In season 1 contained, it's
Correct.
all the Demogorgon.
But that's
when
all
you have the
controlled by
knowledge
Vecna.
of season
Yes.
4, it's such an easy rewrite. They did not have Vecna planned in season 1.
No.
They did not have Vecna
I think
planned.
maybe they did, but it was very loose.
Very, very loose. His name probably wasn't even Vecna. You know what I mean?
Who knows, yeah.
It's very easy for them to be like, it was all the Demogorgon, but Vecna was controlling the Demogorgon. And I subscribe to that notion. I think it was, we'll talk about that more next episode when we talk about the gates.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about the relationship between Vecna and Demogorgons a little bit more there.
Yeah.
But for this particularly, it was the Demogorgon, I think, because it then comes through the wall a few minutes later.
So I'll do one more then about that.
Go
right?
ahead.
Talking to season 5, the shot from this new footage of Holly and Karen, are they looking at a Demogorgon? What if it was some like crazy foreshadowing? She saw a Demogorgon, Demogorgon's back. Obviously still controlled by Vecna, but there are, I don't want to get into too many spoilers, but there have been murmurs for over a year now of some documents from set of potential hinting at Demogorgon attacks on a character that may or may not be in that scene. And so
Karen.
yeah, and so
I
could
remember
that
that.
be, is that something that could come into play here?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see Vecna puppeteering, master of puppets, dare I say, puppeteering Demogorgons, doing a lot of his dirty business, because that I think would help contextualize a lot of prior seasons. I'd be very interested in seeing him controlling like the creatures of the Upside Down for sure. I have a question for you.
Please.
We've talked about this a little bit on one of our walks. Do you feel like Holly being drawn to the lights and the wall show that she has sensitivity to supernatural elements?
Ooh. In all likelihood, probably. I think that in season 5 we'll get some pretty major reveals regarding that. Obviously, there's for months now we've been saying Holly and Vecna, there's some reason to have that connection there. Why? It'd be the question I ask. And when it comes to Holly specifically, we have to remember she had the final line of season 4.
Yeah.
That was so intentional.
Actress never to be seen again.
Yeah, the twins. There were twins that played those girls forever. Sad, but they recast for a reason.
Yeah,
with
that's
someone
the
who's
clearest.
capable. Yeah, like someone who's capable, who's been in horror films. She's in the newest Evil Dead movie, and so it's all very obvious that she's gonna have a big role. Sensitivity to something, powers, I don't know.
Well, having a sensitivity
like how do you define powers is the question I asked. Like you say powers in the world of Stranger Things, your mind goes to, oh my god, 11. But we know that Callie has some different powers, 8. I mean,
yeah.
So
well, when I say a sensitivity to supernatural elements, I don't mean powers.
Okay.
I think about Carol Ann in The Poltergeist. Carol Ann doesn't have powers, but at the beginning of the movie, Carol Ann clearly can sense that there's something up with the television set in their house. Like she can sense there's something supernatural happening around them, and that causes her to be the one that is taken by the poltergeist. So I feel like Holly also has a sensitivity to supernatural. It's like are people in like The Conjuring, you know, like they don't have powers, but they're sensitive to the supernatural.
It's like
they
the main
can,
girl from Insidious.
Yeah, they can like feel like ghosts and stuff around them. Like you see that a lot in a lot of horror movies. I feel like Holly is going to be
clairvoyant.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like maybe it's possible that like Will had a sensitivity to supernatural elements, and that's how he got taken. And because he got taken, now his sensitivity to supernatural elements is like heightened, and that's why he can feel when Vecna is sort of like activated or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think I went and I thought about this a little bit when I asked the question to myself about Holly and her sensitivity.
Yeah.
What does Vecna seek out in his victims? We know he preys on people that are emotionally vulnerable, and particularly he preys on people that are isolated. Like those are kind of the two major things he's looking for in a victim. He also, in my opinion, targets people that might have a little bit of like psychic sensitivity, or just people with like very easily penetrable minds. That's how he's able to give these people those nightmares and like those hallucinations all throughout season 4. Like, they're emotionally vulnerable and they've isolated themselves from people around them, so I think that that makes their minds easier to break through. So if Holly is like sensitive to supernatural forces, would that make her mind easier for him to penetrate? Because I feel like Will is sensitive to these things, so his mind is easy for Vecna to penetrate. 11 is sensitive to these things. 11 has those powers, so she's uber sensitive, and we saw it was very easy for Vecna to penetrate 11's mind.
Yeah.
So if Holly has sensitivity to supernatural forces, I think it'd be very easy for Vecna to take over her mind.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're gonna see in season 5. All those behind the scenes shots we've seen of Holly and Vecna at the Creel house, but Vecna looks like Henry. Like, that's gonna be him going into Holly's mind, which might honestly happen. Which episode is the one that's the vanishing of Holly Wheeler?
Two. Yeah.
Damn. So I was thinking maybe he goes into her mind first, so that when he takes her, she's not as scared. Because I don't think he can't change the way he looks. If we're seeing him look like Henry Creel, like, that's him projecting something into Holly's mind.
Yeah.
But then maybe he takes Holly at the end of the episode, maybe? I don't know.
We'll see.
But, like, I definitely think he's going to go into Holly's mind. And I think just Holly is going to be a target for him, because I feel like because she's mirrored after Carol Ann, she's going to have some sort of sensitivity to these supernatural kind of things.
Hear me out. Really not probably going to be true, just something I thought of randomly.
Yeah.
Imagine Holly's father is not Ted. I don't know how that would work, but just bear with me. What if?
Kind of on that tangent, but not
Yeah.
really. I do think Holly is also very much going to remind Henry of Alice. 100%. They look the same. They're going to be around the same age when season 5 comes around. How old would you say Holly is now in season 5?
We can look it up. How old is Holly Wheeler?
Yeah, how old was she in season 1? We can do math based off that. Because I think Alice was, if Henry in the show was 12, I believe Alice was like 10.
This is according to Stranger Things Wiki.
My favorite website.
In season 1, she was 3. In season 2, she was 4. In season 3, she was in the 4 to 5 range. And in season 4, she was in the 5 to 6 range. So she's going to be like
8.
Yeah, 7 to 8 range.
Okay. She's giving 9, I feel like. How old's the actress? Can you look that up too?
Let's look it up, yeah.
Because she's kind of giving 9 to 10. If she's 9 to 10, that's about Alice's age range, I'd say. I'll look up how old is Alice Creel.
13, Nell Fisher is.
Oh, what the hell?
What?
Dude, I hate trying to look up the ages of the Creel family. It pisses me off. Because of the inconsistencies in canon, Alice's age is listed as a range between 10 and 15. The actress who played her, though, was 11 at the time, so I'm going to give her benefit of doubt. She's 10. That's what I thought she was anyways.
Yeah.
She definitely gives younger than Henry in season 4, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. She's young.
Yeah.
I know she's younger than Henry in the stage play.
Certainly, yeah, she's younger. So Holly, Vecna, that whole connection's going down, and this scene from the 3rd episode of the show is going to be recontextualized when season 5
100%.
drops.
I'm very excited for that.
It's going to be one that goes viral on TikTok and everything.
Oh, for sure.
People being like, look, I discovered this.
I'm really excited, actually. I feel like I was a little adverse to it at the beginning, but I now have decided I'm very excited for the addition of Holly into sort of the main storyline of the show. Especially because I feel like it's going to bring us back to the feeling you get in season 1, where like the kids are so young, like there's just a sort of innocence with them in the whole situation. I feel like Holly's gonna bring that innocence back to the table.
Paired with that, to me, is like Erica and her new batch of friends. Like, in many ways, it'll be cool because we'll see like a passing of the torch. Like, the kids, Will, Dustin, etc. They're now near the age. They're getting close to like how old Nancy and Jonathan and Steve were in that first season. They're not quite there, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so they're
they might be.
They're going to be like the older high schoolers.
Nancy was a sophomore.
Yeah,
so
they
exactly.
are. They're getting to that age, and now we've got this new generation who's like right around the age of the season 2 kids. So we get to see that dynamic. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for Holly to be more involved. I think it'll be really cool. Plus, I adore Jamie Kimball Bower, and I just already know that those scenes where he's projecting himself as Henry Creel, like in front of the Creel house, like those scenes are going to be awesome. Just because I know whatever script they're gonna give Jamie Kimmel Bauer is gonna eat.
He'll
days,
have his monologues.
Weeks.
Yep.
Months.